Okay, welcome. Got my mountain climbing gear on tonight. Okay, so nice to see lots of people. Also some new faces I don't think I know. We'll have a chat a bit later. And so let's do our meditation. So I ask you to sit comfortably. It'll be for about 15 minutes. And close your eyes and look inside. As you look inside, become aware what is the strongest thing that's happening. So this may be thoughts, it could be feelings, could be a body sensation, it can just be quiet. So just bring your attention to whatever is the strongest. Okay, so take another look. And once again, bring your attention to whatever is the strongest thing going on inside you. Okay, so we take another look. And this time we're going to give ourselves permission to fall deeper inside. Okay, so when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So we're going to do a little sharing about the meditation. If somebody would like to offer themselves. Otherwise, I'll start with Siri.
Me? What a surprise.
Wow, I mean, you're getting so kind of so turned on about the community. It must be your turn, yeah?
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
Okay, so what happened in your meditation?
Yeah, so at first I could feel that I was still thinking a lot about what I did today, and my mind was really busy. But then when you said fall deeper into the meditation, there was a little bit of a relief. So more, I was feeling like, come on, let go, it's fine, and yeah.
Right. Good. Okay, well, you're very new to all this, so that's a good result, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, let's see who else would like to share. We've got some other people I don't know. Where's he gone? I think I've lost him. There was a guy who I didn't remember seeing before. Where's he gone? He's already decided it's enough. Okay, so no problem. Ah, William. Yeah, are you still there, William? Ah, there you are again. Good. I lost you for a moment. Would you like to share something about the meditation? William? Maybe not. Okay, so let me ask Rajan. You're doing very well at the moment. What happened for you in the meditation?
Not so much.
Okay. So that's the best possible answer, of course. Not much. It may be a little bit boring to hear that, but actually that's the best possible answer. Nothing happened. Because of course, when we look inside, usually we are full of thoughts. And of course, the whole idea of what we're doing together is to come to a thought-free space, thought-free and feeling-free space. just to be there, just to be present. Okay. Somebody else like to share? Lara, you're becoming also a bit of an expert now. You've been here, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks now, and for the fourth week has started. But this meditation, I was very restless.
You know what happens at the end of the 4th week, don't you? You turn into a pumpkin.
It was pumpkin. Yeah, exactly.
I'm joking. Not a very good joke. Okay. So what happened in the meditation?
I was very restless all the time. It was like many thoughts, and also like energy that comes in waves, and I was like, it was just too much. I feel like just I need to do something, run or boxing, or I don't know. It was too much energy inside me, so I was very restless. And yeah,
Can it really be too much energy?
it changes, but it doesn't feel like energy from love and being wow so fulfilled. It's like more an angry energy to, I don't know, just coming something out.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, somebody else like to share, or I choose somebody? We've got quite a lot of Russians tonight. How about you, Lila? You're one of our rare guests.
Ты у нас редкий гость.
You'd like to share something?
Ты бы хотела поделиться чем-то?
Okay, so we'll take your nice smile as an indication of something good happening inside.
Мы примем твою прекрасную улыбку за то, что, скорее всего, у тебя происходит что-то удивительное внутри. Окей? Окей.
Okay. Let's see if we can find a Russian that speaks.
Давайте еще кого-то русского найдем, поболтать.
Speaks, if I can find her. Where's there she is. Okay, Madhu, you usually.
Madhu.
This big screen of people is quite tough for me. I can't keep my eye on everybody.
Слышно меня, Катюнь?
Да, тебя слышно.
Yes, да? Ой, ну я немножко, да, притихла, а то мне сильно хотелось поделиться.
In the beginning, I wanted to share a lot, and she even waves her hands, just like very often, but you didn't see.
Для меня медитация прошла очень быстро, и вот мне даже интересно, сколько времени мы были, потому что я только и уже все.
For me, this time meditation ran very quickly, and we just start, and you already said that if you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the meeting.
У нас на юге сейчас очень холодно.
It's very cold even in the south of Ukraine right now.
Да, и перед встречей Хануман выслал замечательное такое зажигательное танцевальное видео. Поэтому я тоже решила потанцевать вместе с ребятами под Харе Кришна.
And before this meeting, Hanuman shared the dancing video, and that's why I also decided to dance with this mantra singing Hare Krishna.
Вот поэтому перед медитацией, да, немножко у меня все так и сердце, и все так было возбуждено, но только я села, и очень быстро все прекратилось, ну, я просто растворилась. Было очень классно. Но быстро.
Before the meditation, I was quite overexcited after the dancing and so on. But once I sat, I'm like disappear in this meditation, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's interesting how somehow that it's quite powerful in this Zoom meeting. Yeah? Partly we get to know each other over the weeks because some of you, like you are always here every week. So I think for people who would like to get a good benefit, I would recommend you come regularly for some time because it somehow builds up. You get more familiar with the other people and so on.
Это на самом деле классно, вот вообще вот как ты приходишь каждую неделю на эту встречу, да, и таким образом остаешься в контакте и поддерживаешь эту энергию. Но в то же время и ты своего рода как знакомишься с людьми, да, из других также стран, и в принципе как становишься ближе к всему этому.
Good.
Прекрасненько.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Okay. And Ari, would you like to share? I'm not sure which country are you from? I think we've met before, but I don't quite remember. Is Ari there?
Yeah, I'm from Netherlands, Cologne.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah. I was in a bit of shock today because a friend came and then he got a phone call that he was at a dance event and some people had Corona. So he did a test here, but he didn't have it, but still I wasn't sure. So I was still recovering from the shock.
Okay.
And then when it said go deeper, I went.
You had a shocking meditation, did you?
Yeah. But when it said go deeper, there was just silence and I could drop the whole thing.
Okay, good. You know, I had a third jab yesterday for vaccination, and tonight I'm a bit tired actually. Yesterday I felt kind of energized, but today suddenly it felt like, yeah, really exhausted all day. And we have Shiva, a well-known ex-participant in these kind of meetings, probably from Berlin or could be from Kiev, I don't know. Would you like to share something? I see you've got your bicycle ready to jump on it and ride away if it gets too intense.
Yeah, I mean, since I joined the meeting, I had a lot of shaking going on, and still I can hardly move or keep myself in this chair. And I don't know, it's some kind of release, I feel.
All right. I think since we last met, you've been to America, is that right?
Yeah, I had a holidays.
Right. Okay. Right.
Very strong energy.
Well, maybe you should buy a ticket and come and visit on next weekend.
Yeah.
You can buy a ticket for about 80 euros, so it's not so expensive. Come and join the weekend.
To Kiev.
Yeah. You remember this place? It's quite nice. You'll even enjoy. They speak Russian there.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, I don't know. I traveled so much in the last couple of months. Let me think.
Okay, don't think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see who else we've got who I haven't talked to before. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but in my book it's got it as Yi. Is your name Yi Yun?
At first I wrote it for Germans, then now I write it for English because
so what do you like people to call you?
Yijing is my name as my Chinese. Yijing, yes.
Yijing, okay, good. And you're Chinese?
Originally I come from Taiwan.
Taiwan, okay.
Well, I have been in Germany for 25 years. I live in Berlin.
Ah, okay, right. Okay, so you're pretty German as well as Chinese now.
Yes, yes.
Okay, anyway, nice to meet you. I think we didn't meet before, did we?
No, not yet. It's first time. I watched
Okay.
some videos and yeah.
Okay, good, good. So how was the meditation for you?
I've been to many different kind of trainings for over 20 years, and so this is not new. Yes.
Right. So what happened, or nothing happened?
A lot. Yes. Yes, I have many different teachers, and in the last 3 years, I learned a lot from Christian Meyer in Berlin.
Okay, yes, yeah.
Yes,
I haven't met him, but I know a bit about him. Yeah.
it's the same tradition, and I like to meet also other teachers from the same, more or less the same tradition. So
Right. Okay. So maybe I would, I'm very busy at the moment to edit some Ramana Maharshi texts. I don't know if you've heard about it, but there's been some new information on a new diary of Ramana's teachings. You can buy it on Amazon. And if you look on my website, you can find now about 45 edited texts. Some of them are his teachings, and some of them are what you could call glimpses into his life.
yes.
You may find it quite interesting if you're particularly interested in this particular bit of spirituality. Yeah. And I would say for everybody that it's a wonderful discovery, actually. So I've got to the point now where I have about 300 pages edited, and the next step is to start making it into a book. So it's quite exciting. Okay, so Raj, you're in Kiev, but you're not Russian, probably. I'm just about to disappear.
Not.
You're not what?
I'm not. You're not Russian yet. Not Ukrainian
Not yet.
yet. No,
No,
not yet.
Not yet. They're trying their best, I expect.
Yeah.
So you're smiling a lot. Does that suggest anything?
No, I think it's okay. I was just. I mean, I was with the guest basically during the meditation, but for the rest, it's okay.
Okay. Good. Okay. So right above you, I see Om. He's been very busy the last few days. So he might have something to tell us. I don't know if you've all seen the newsletter, but he was up until 3 o'clock on the 31st of November or 30th of November. He was up until the wee hours trying to get the newsletter out before it got into December. So if you've seen it, but it's quite a lovely bit of graphic.
Yeah, I feel very empty inside. Just being here, very beautiful. Yeah.
This is one of the things that's quite interesting in our community, that I've noticed that the people who work the most get the biggest silence, get the biggest present, if you like. And he's one of the very hard workers, and above him is Rajan. He's also very hard worker. He didn't used to be. He used to be this amazingly professional meditator. And all kind of tricks where his eyes would go round and round and stuff like this, you know. And then poor guy, I told him to stop meditating. And so now he's the hardest working guy around the community. And today he told me that he really likes it. So this is a bit of a breakthrough, actually. So, I mean, it's not about being a good meditator. It's about being a good being in presence, yeah? It's being in presence with whatever is coming into your life. If you're present, then basically everything's very good. If you're not present, everything's pretty shitty. Okay. Kiran, what would you like to share? Would you like to share something, Kiran?
Not so much. So there was again strong energy, and below this was a kind of block. Something wanted to come up, and then I felt there was kind of anger below, angry energy, but not anger about something. It was anger about wanting to flow. I don't know, something like this.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of part of the energy.
And you haven't got your Scottish, Scottish international plumber. You haven't got him into the meeting.
Yeah, he is in the meeting, but I don't know. Probably the internet doesn't work. He's not on the screen here.
Ah, okay.
But maybe I just get up to the room and ask him what's happening. Yeah, because he wanted to talk to you.
Ah, he's not William, is he?
Yeah, that's the William Hardy.
Ah, you're right. I tried to talk to him, but he sort of disappeared.
Maybe the internet is not always very strong here.
Right, right. Well, maybe you help him to connect.
Yeah, I just go up. He's upstairs.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, sometimes in our community we have sort of miracles happening. So about 6 weeks ago, we decided to make a completely new bathroom, and going to be the main bathroom of the house of the community. I'm talking about a house we recently bought in Spain, in Denia, beautiful place. Anyway, so we were expecting our super Ukrainian plumber to come and help us, but he's self-destructed recently. So we don't know what's happened to him. But suddenly, completely out of the blue, we got a message from somebody in Scotland saying he'd like to come in the beginning of December for about a week or 10 days as a volunteer. And it turned out that he was a professional, he has his own professional company for plumbing and such things. So this is a bit like a miracle, I would say. We've had this a bit before. I remember once when we first rented the house 5 years ago, we had a meeting. And in this meeting, I said, if anybody is good at electrics, we were looking for an electrician. And at the back of the meeting, there was somebody I didn't know. And he said, I'm an electrician. And he came down and spent a few months, I think, actually. And he redid the whole electrical situation down there. And then after he finished, we never saw him again. So it's an interesting phenomena having a community. People come, they leave a little present, and then they go away again. So the community is always much bigger than the apparent community of who's living there. All kind of people are coming and giving some presents. So I don't know if William is it possible to talk to William now? Probably not yet. Unfortunately, the internet's not very good in the house in Spain. Why don't you invite him down to your computer? Karen? Okay, well, all right. Okay, so we're pretty much, okay. Anybody else like to share? And then I'd like to read tonight's text. So we have a very simple, small, but very much to the point text tonight from Ramana. So he was asked, what are the obstacles which hinder realization of the self? This is almost everybody's question who comes to visit him. These texts are from 1936, when he was about 57 years old, very much in his prime, very juicy. And almost every Western guests who came there basically asked a similar set of questions. And so he answered, they are habits of mind, that they call them vasanas in India. They are habits of mind. So the habits of the mind are exactly what causes us to not be aware of the self. It's only the tendencies of the mind. And then he was asked, how can I achieve the same? And Ramana's answered, by preventing the mind from straying out after thoughts, desires, and imagined objects of sensory perception. What are vasanas? Habits of thought, accumulated tendencies of mind, and intellectual tendencies. How does one get rid of these hindrances? Seek the self through meditation in this manner. Trace every thought back to its point of origin, which is only the mind. Never allow thought to run on. If you do so, it will be unending. Take it back, take the thought back to its starting place. The mind's essence of pure consciousness, again and again. And thought and thinker will both die of inaction eventually. So this is what he called self-inquiry, or what is known as self-inquiry. So if you do this self-inquiry constantly, then finally the thoughts, instead of a thought like, I'd like to eat lunch, and then you have the idea, well, what food do I have? And then you discover there isn't so much food, and then you think, okay, I go on my bicycle to get some more food. And then you discover that actually your bike's got a puncture, and so this is a never-ending story, if you allow the thoughts to go on and on. So his very clear recommendation is to bring the thoughts back to the source of the thought. Bring the thought back to the source of the thought. The mind only exists by reason of thought. Stop thought, and there is no mind. As each doubt or depressing thought arises, ask yourself, who is it that doubts? What is it that is depressed? Where is the source of the mind? Tear everything out and go on discarding until there is nothing but the source, the essence of all left. And then live always in that, and only in that. There is no past or future save in the mind. Only present exists. Yes, even the present is mere imagination. It is. That is all. I am that I am. So, yeah. So this is a very good outline for what he's become famous for Vichara. Is the Hindi word Vichara, or self-inquiry. And of course, when you first meet this teaching is of course very confronting, because this teaching is saying, we're not interested in the mind. We're not interested in all these thoughts, because these thoughts are nearly always taking us into the past. We want to be here in the present. If we're here in the present, then we can feel peace and we can feel love. Not a personal love, but a universal love, you can say. So we want to live moment by moment, being present. And the only way you can do that is if the mind is basically stopped. It doesn't mean thoughts don't appear when you have some practical situation, like maybe you want to buy an air ticket, something practical, you want to plan something, then of course you need a mind. So there's a practical mind. You use your mind to think about some situation, and when you finished, it just all drops. So it doesn't really cause any problems. What causes problems is our thinking mind, because our thinking mind is constantly taking us, for most people, back into the past. Sometimes people have a lot of fear, and then they go a lot into the future. So people with fear, emotional fear, they're very much busy with the future. What might happen? Something could happen. Something terrible could happen. But for many people, it's more to do with the past. We remember what we did last week or last night, and we come into thinking and thinking and thinking. So this is a very hard lesson in the beginning. When you first meet this teaching, it's a very hard lesson to discover that the whole effort is to have an empty mind. And of course, our habit is to indulge in our mind. We like to indulge the mind. But this isn't going to bring any kind of inner peace. All the issues that we have in our life comes out of the fact that we're completely identified with what's coming up in our mind. And it's a shocking kind of teaching in the beginning. But when you start to live this teaching, you find out it's amazingly wonderful. And now we have many people from the community here, and almost every one of them has had some period when they came into this peace and a deep love. It's almost a wrong word to use love, because it's more like you merge with the universal energy. So it's a completely different quality of love. Nothing like I love you. Nothing personal. He doesn't say it here, but he's completely on record to say that you're not going to achieve realization of the self to be, how can I say, to be grounded in the realization of the self. You're not going to be able to do that unless you deal with the vasanas, you deal with the tendencies of your mind. When I used to travel around Europe from town to town, I never really met people's vasanas, because I just met them maybe one evening. And but since I've been living in a community, which is now 16, 17 years, I think, then we all get to know each other's tendencies. And these tendencies tend to constantly repeat. The most popular being, I'm not good enough. Almost every human being has this particular tendency, I'm not good enough. But of course, it's these kind of tendencies which repeat through the day, they're just nonsense, of course. Of course, everybody's good enough. Everybody's absolutely perfect. Everybody's exactly as they're supposed to be, doing whatever they're supposed to be. So there's never a question of not being good enough. You're absolutely good enough. But this is a very common tendency, and it's a very painful tendency. Ah, Churia just come into the meeting. She's rather an expert on that. Maybe she's getting to be less of an expert, I hope. Yeah. You just have to let it go, let it go. It doesn't serve you at all. It's just an enormous sabotage. But it's not so easy because we're very, very attached to this kind of mindy stuff. So maybe I a little bit provoked some discussion. Would somebody like to discuss a bit with me? So what about you, Turia? You've spent the last few days working on Nanya, which means who am I? And this little book is all about self-inquiry. So probably you're going to be one of the world's great experts on that right now. We're about to publish this Ramana classic in 3 Indian languages, in Hindi, Telugu, and what was the other one? And we've already published it in Spanish, Russian, English, and German. If you haven't seen this little book, you should try to get a copy. It's very beautiful. For years, when I went to the ashram, I was always upset that this amazing teaching was offered for sale for about, I don't know, 50 cents, very, very cheap, but it was also in a very cheap little pamphlet. And for years, I was thinking, oh, we have to make a beautiful book. You know, this is a bit sad. So we've produced a very, very beautiful book now. And it turned out in the end to be our bestseller because, of course, Ramana Maharshi is the most actively greatest spiritual teacher at the moment, and has been for the last quite many years, I would say. So, Helaman, would you like to comment about this teaching? He's celebrating his cutting off his beard.
Он празднует то, что он побрился сегодня, остался без бороды.
I've still got a bit of it. Okay.
Ну, лучше нет. That's best of the best. Это лучшее, что может быть. Я много чего пробовал.
Ты имеешь в виду самовопрошание?
Наньяр.
Okay. I tried many practices, and I would say that it's the best of the best, this Nanyar practice.
Right. Yeah, because the whole effort of Nanya is that you take the thought back to the source. And when you keep doing it, you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, you know, till you become almost crazy from doing it, then almost for sure, you will have a kind of moment when your mind just stops. And then, of course, in that moment, you feel really, really wonderful because you're connecting to your essence. And then after that, you have much more of a priority to do this kind of asking. So probably, Hanuman, it's the case for you, I think.
Потому что суть этого упражнения заключается в том, что каждый раз, когда мысль у тебя возникает, ты ее пытаешься вернуть к ресурсу, и когда ты, в принципе, делаешь это постоянно, раз за разом, то ты даже становишься истощен, да, от этого упражнения. Но в итоге ты погружаешься уже в такую тишину, в такой же покой, ты приближаешься ближе к самости. И это очень приятно. И я думаю, Ханаман, что, в принципе, в твоем случае это очень классное и полезное упражнение.
Would you like to share, Hanuman, something from your experience with self-inquiry?
Может быть, ты хотел бы поделиться каким-то опытом своим из упражнения, из этого, кто я вопрошании?
Это упражнение работает. Это эффективное упражнение. Когда я помню о нем, я что-то делаю. Ну, как бы я понимаю суть этого упражнения. Суть этого упражнения я понимаю. Но житие в коммуне и вот особенно последний как бы стиль жизни мой, я нашел, может быть, более какой-то, я иногда использую это упражнение, но жизнь в коммуне и вот прохождение сложных таких стрессовых ситуаций, много работы, естественным образом забирает тебя в тишину. В тишину забирает
Я
тебя.
сейчас переведу, извини, да. Мгм.
Да.
Yes, I find this technique like self-inquiry and asking myself, who am I? It's very effective and it really works. But recently, especially for the last 2-3 months, when the situation with Tripilla happened, so I haven't so much work these days. So somehow with this lots of work, I feel this happens by itself. And even if I'm not asking myself and do not return to this exercise, somehow it's already happened by itself.
Yeah, I think this is true. When you've done it for some years, then it has a power. It has already a power inside you.
Да, это правда, потому что делая это на протяжении вот многих лет, то ты своего рода уже сформировал там вот какую-то вот энергию уже, которая помогает тебе, вот силу, которая помогает тебе уже произвольно вот генерировать такое состояние.
I mean, if you consider a typical modern man from any country, really,
Ну, допустим, если ты представишь себе любого современного человека из любой страны,
then this modern man is completely living with a mindful of thought.
потому что ты должен, ну, ты же понимаешь, что этот человек живет с головой полной мыслей.
So much so that it just seems natural, it just seems normal.
Что весь этот поток мыслей, он настолько кажется таким правильным, натуральным, нормальным.
But of course, it's not really normal.
Ну и, конечно же, это ненормально.
I can't help thinking that the more primitive human beings from some time in the past, I can't judge when it changed, these people were living every day just naturally in their own essence, and their own essence was peaceful.
Допустим, да, а есть некоторые люди, которые, в принципе, изначально как-то вот умели уже и жили вот рядышком со своей самостью и в полном покое.
And so this is something that, for example, our community is able to offer to the world. People can come here and find that there's a very strong energy field, and they come into this energy field, and then it becomes much more easy to meditate, much more easy to do self-inquiry, and it's much easier to have moments when you can fall into the nothingness, into your essence. So,
в принципе, это то, что наша коммуна предлагает. Это вот даже находясь здесь некоторое время, ты понимаешь, что реально здесь гораздо проще медитировать, здесь гораздо проще делать самоупражнения, реально вот самовопрошание. И, в принципе, ты здесь гораздо ближе начинаешь приближаться к самой самости своей.
good. You're looking very good today, actually.
Ты красавчик
So,
сегодня,
like
выглядишь
I,
очень классно.
like I was saying before, lots of hard work is very good.
И как я говорил ранее, много тяжелой работы очень хорошо.
Да, Хануман был сегодня в огненном шкафу, залазил. Он сегодня побывал в огне.
Yes, it's true. Hanuman was in the fire today.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, you know, I lived in Osho's ashram for some time.
Я жил в ашраме Ошо на некоторое время, как ты знаешь.
And the people who were coming into the ashram, the people who were really most involved in the ashram,
И люди, которые приходили, и которые были максимально вовлечены в работу этого ашрама,
they used to work like hell.
и они работали как проклятые.
I mean, me too.
И я тоже.
And when you work like hell, you don't have time to think.
И когда ты работаешь как проклятый, у тебя нет времени думать.
Like now I'm getting the memory of working in the kitchen one summer.
Допустим, вот сейчас у меня в памяти возникла ситуация, когда я работала летом на кухне.
Actually, it's nearly always summer there, and it's always very hot.
Потому что летом там было просто адски горячо, жарко.
And in those days, I was really like a tough case, you know, very egoistic, stupid English guy. So they had to do something tough with me.
И в то время я был достаточно эгоистичный такой британчик, который высокомерный и вообще. И, конечно же, они там меня решили изжарить максимально, чтобы я попустился.
So I was in the kitchen, and my job was to wash the big metal pots.
Я был на кухне, и работа у меня состояла в том, что мне нужно было мыть здоровенные такие металлические котлы.
I had a rubber kind of apron.
У меня была такое, как форма такая специальная.
And I had rubber gloves.
И у меня были вот такие вот перчатки резиновые здоровенные.
And I had a kind of jet of boiling hot water.
И у меня вот такой вот шланг был с горячей бурлящей водой такой.
And one after the other, I had to clean many pots.
И я вот постоянно перемывала очень много таких тазиков.
It was a kind of torture.
Это была вообще пытка ужаснейшая.
Yeah. But it had a very good effect.
Но это дало очень хороший эффект.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay, good. Nice to talk to
Окей,
you.
классненько. Хорошо было с тобой поболтать.
Anybody else waving their hand around?
Кто-то там еще нам помахивает.
So, Kieran, I never got the chance to talk to your Scotsman.
Yes. Okay. I went up and he said he's talking to his son and he will come back, but maybe I just go up to him with my computer and
maybe you bring him down to your computer.
Yeah, bring him down. He was
where it's working well, yeah.
Okay, I bring him down.
Okay, good. Okay, so Radha, you're down in Denia also. How is Spain?
Yeah, today it's more quiet, which is what is very good. So I was talking so much and I completely enjoy to be silent.
Right. Okay, well, just because you're in Spain, you don't have to talk so much.
Well, there are not so many people I have to talk to and not so many phone calls. I mean, yesterday there were still a lot of phone calls, but today it was more silent. This is very good.
Right. So just before you left here, you had a kind of opening. Yeah? So how is that opening now? You're in Spain. Is it still pretty quiet inside?
The meditation was very quiet, so it's easy to come to this.
Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we'll give up on talking to you because you can't talk so much. That's very good. Anybody else like to engage in a bit of a dialogue? Okay, Govinda.
Yes.
Govinda, show them what you really look like.
Ach so, yeah.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. He just came back from the penal colony in the far Siberia from Russia. See what they did to him, poor guy. You can put your hat back again now. We don't want to scare the guests.
What I want to share is that, like, since we are in this Ahams Purana project, it's like really the first time that I can feel a strong connection to Ramana Maharshi.
Yeah.
And I read or watch something from him every day, and it's a tremendous support to just to just let this in to the heart. And I often feel that the mind is removing for some time, and I feel there's some process happening with it.
Yeah, read one of these blogs every day, or a couple of them every day. They're very powerful, actually. They're from this period when he was around 57 years old. You know, he wasn't this kind of doddery old man who we're familiar with. He was a kind of virile man, actually, when he was in 1936. It's quite different. He was quite different from the image we have. And he does lots of outrageous things that you don't hear about, like he gets angry sometimes. So Ramana had heard, well, it was reported to him that the ashram manager, who happened to be his brother, had asked somebody to go downtown and buy traps to kill the rats or the mice. And so when Ramana heard that, he called for his brother to come and talk to him. And then Ramana really did his bananas. You know, he was completely upset. And he told his brother that if you want to poison all the rats and the mice, you should start and poison me.
Yeah.
So this is very, very nice, actually.
Yeah, that shows this super sense of valuing every part of being the same way and not making like judgments.
Yeah. And there's another great story. There was a guy who used to be Ramana's assistant. You know, in the early days when he was quite young, he had a guy who was his assistant who later, I don't know the story at all, but anyway, this guy became very anti-Ramana and was out in the street in front of the ashram telling, you know, Western people when they arrived how Ramana was a terrible guy, doing all kind of black magic, blah, 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 yeah? So when Ramana was told about this guy, again, I think it was the manager came and told him, you know, this guy is outside making trouble, you know, and if he stays outside, he's going to drive all your students away. Nobody will want to stay here with you. He's making you sound such a terrible person, you know. So when he was told this, he was also told that this man had written a small book against Ramana. Yeah? So Ramana's response to all that was to say, oh, what a pity. If he would have come to ask us, we could have given him more money and then he could have done a big book. So you know, Ramana had an amazing knack to kind of take a different position than his brother, the manager, for example. Another story between them was they were going to have a 40th year celebration of Ramana's enlightenment, the 40th, yeah. So he would have been about probably 60 years old then, I think, or maybe a bit less. Must have been a bit less. Anyway, so they had the manager came and told, you know, we have all these plans and we've got wonderful food and musicians and blah, blah, blah. And then Ramana says to his brother, you don't forget to provide special food for the animals, do you? Don't forget the cow, don't forget the squirrels, don't forget the peacocks. Let's all celebrate together. And of course, his brother wasn't so excited about that.
He even, I watched some stuff from David Gottman. He says also a lot of stories, and he said he even cared that the animal have equal space to the human beings, and he apologized to the animals that the human beings took the space to build the ashram there because it originally was from the animals.
Right.
And he also said like with the animals, it was also funny because it was some of them were incarnations from spiritual seekers, and
right.
Lakshmi was an incarnation from a female seeker. I don't know the name. And there was also, I think, a blue peacock who was also an incarnation of some kind of spiritual seeker. And yeah, Ramana sometimes talked to them like with Lakshmi, he would always keep it a secret, but with the peacock, he would sometimes talk to him like he knew he was this incarnation and this human being. So it seems to be touching.
Probably most people don't know about Cow Lakshmi. So Cow Lakshmi used to come into the hall every day just before 11 o'clock in the morning, because they used to eat lunch at 11 o'clock. So she would come in and come to Bhagwan's chair, couch, and he would have a bowl of fruit that people had given him. It would be a bowl of fruit. And then Ramana would give the fruit to Lakshmi the cow. So she was very happy to come every day before lunch to get her daily allowance of fruits. But really, it was an amazing cow. It was a really amazing cow. And Ramana was very close to this cow. This man who wrote a book against Ramana, one of his things was that why are you building in the ashram such huge buildings? Huge. For example, the cow shed, which was one of the first buildings. In those days, they considered the cow shed a huge building. Why would you build this huge building for a few cows, when the people were living in bamboo huts? So there's, anyway.
I don't know, but when you're writing against him, you're still in some kind, you're meditating on his form, even if it's a negative way. So maybe at some point it can switch again.
Right. Yeah. Good. Okay. So we're going to stop fairly soon. I'm a bit tired tonight. Anybody else like to talk? Okay. Okay, so I just remind you about our Indian retreat. So from the beginning of January until the end of January, 3 weeks, we're going to the south of India, to Arunachala, to about 5 minutes, 10 minutes walk down the road from Ramana Ashram. It'll be our 21st retreat. And we found out that locally in Tiruvannamalai, it's completely okay with the virus. The virus is not really a story now anymore in India, because they've vaccinated something like 80% of the population. So things are quite easy there. When you arrive at the airport, you need to do a test, and then you need to quarantine for 10 days. But this is very nice because, of course, we're having a 20-day quarantine because we're having a retreat. So, you know, it's not really any problem to have a 10-day quarantine. So everything is fine. So anybody who is interested in coming, you can definitely come. It looks like it's all going to work. At the moment we have about 20 people coming. We have space for some more people, and it's really a wonderful retreat. I've got to know some of the local teachers, Indian teachers, and I always invite some of them to come to the retreat. We have more or less a whole little ashram to ourselves. We make our own kitchen, so we have healthy, nice food. And in fact, we've got a little team of local Indian ladies who've been cooking for us, I think, for about 12 years, maybe 15 years. The same group. Very cute that they keep coming every year. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you.